Okay, the conundrum of escapism. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call the video, but what do I mean by this? I think every single artist, I think every single writer, I think every single musician, every single person that does something, anything you can think of in this world, I think that there is some conundrum going on with each person. It's just, I don't think a lot of artists and musicians and writers and other people reflect back onto themselves what they're really doing to themselves or of themselves or for themselves. They really don't have a they don't see that they're kind of their own parody in a sense, if that makes sense at all to people. When you say, I'm an escapist and I want to escape from the things of this life, then that means that you're not dealing with problems that you may be having or I may be having. It means that I'm escaping from my circumstances. I'm escaping from my situation. I'm escaping from all of these things that are going on in my life, and I'm not confronting anything. Then you have people that say, no, I'm not an escapist. I'm facing the things in my life and I'm actually attempting to change my circumstances or be a different person because I'm either tired of being this, or I just can't do this anymore, or I have to make a difference for myself. And see, a lot of people think when they do that that they're going to lose their identity. Like if some guy sold watches his whole life and jewelry and his store closes down, what does he have to live for? If there's someone that sold hoagies their whole life and they loved making sandwiches and they loved feeding people, and all of a sudden they can't do that anymore, then it's going to be like the end of the world for them because they put their identity in that thing. And what do I mean here? What am I getting at here? Well, I know there's a lot of artists, musicians, writers, just artists in general, the arts, all the seven arts, and people in general. We're constantly trying to escape from our situations, and we're trying to escape the circumstances we're in, and we're trying to escape from ourselves. This is like a good and a bad thing if we're labeling it as something. But when you confront your issues, it's a good and a bad thing. Because if you face yourself and you face what's really going on, then you're going to kind of lose that identity that you've been holding on to for so long. It's like people that sing music and they're singing about things that like they're bitter about or they're angry with or they're lonely with or they're sad about. If they confront those things, then they're not going to be sad no more. They're not going to be lonely no more. They're not going to be hurting anymore. If they find the woman of their dreams and they get married to somebody, then they're not going to be able to sing and talk about, I'm looking for a woman. I'm looking for a lady. You know what I'm saying? It's like they can still sing about it, but you know that that's not really their escapism. They're escaping from the situation that they're in, but they're imagining it now. They're doing something that's not really them anymore. It's they're trying to be something now. And this is my problem. Excuse me. This is my problem with both escapism and confronting and facing your fears and getting, quote, better. You know, something George Bukowski or Charles Bukowski says is, when you clean up a city, you destroy it. And I agree with that on so many terms. I agree with that in so many ways. But yet again, if we're not cleaning up any aspect of our life, then we're going to stay in the misery. We're going to stay in the pain. We're going to stay in all these things that we may not like and we may complain about and we may talk about and we're struggling with. But then we always use this as something to backfire onto ourselves, or we're using it to escape with. And then if we confront it, then we say, I miss it. I that was keeping me going. That was my identity. That's who I was. You understand what I mean? And I don't think we realize we're kind of like our own parodies in this life. It's like we are our own show, reflecting, projecting, doing all these crazy and weird things. But do we really understand that we're doing that to ourselves? You see what I'm saying? I think there's something in this, is realizing yet again, we are everything. We are all contradictions. We are all ironies. We are conundrums. We are contrary to everything. We say we don't like this thing, but then we go and do it. It's like a girl in high school that rolls her eyes at you and smacks you and says she can't stand you, but then she ends up liking you in the end. You know, like the movies. It's just this constant conundrum. It's this constant escapism going on where we're all looking for an escape, but at the same time, I don't think we really want to escape from the things that we're saying we want to escape from. I think we're addicted to those things. You can be addicted to sadness. You can be addicted to loneliness. You can be addicted to being angry. You can be addicted to being hateful. You can be addicted to all these types of different words that I can use. We can be addicted to. And people go, well, how am I supposed to get out of this? This is my identity. This is who I have been being for so long that I can't let go of that. If I let go of that, then I'm not going to be me. I'm not going to be me anymore. And I think that is wrong, 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 wrong. Yet again, I just think that we're not willing to face ourselves. We're not willing to reflect all these things back onto ourselves. We're not willing to cry and have to go through these things time and time again. Because I know for me, I've already went through the stage of crying many, many, many times because I was lonely and there was nobody around. I went through this phase where I was just in a state of loneliness, and I shed so many tears. I went through so many different times. It's not just loneliness, it's many other emotions. I forced myself to go through that while I was younger so that I didn't have to deal with it later on. And I can't really say that I get... See, I got to be careful with what I'm saying here. I can't say that I get lonely. It's just that I feel as though I have to vent to other people. I feel as though I have to express myself to others. And I have to put me out there so that I can kind of reflect that back onto myself. I just do it in a very awkward, weird way. I don't do it like other people do. I don't need like a pat on the back. I don't need like for people to say, oh my goodness, I look up to you. You're so great. And to tell me how great I am. I already know what I am. You know what I mean? I already know the person I am. I already know what I've been through. I forced myself to go through these things. And all that I'm saying is, I think a lot of us, we are just constantly projecting everything into the world. We're constantly projecting our identity onto other people. And like I said, I'm not for an identity, because I think an identity is what keeps us stuck. It keeps us all these different emotions and ways that we get. It keeps us in those places because we say we have an identity. We identify with something. And I don't think we have to identify with anything. It's like, whatever you're going to be, when you're going to be that thing. Don't try to be anything that you're not. It's so easy. It's so easy to do. Like, if you're feeling hurt, cry. If you're feeling joyful, then jump for joy and be joyful. If you really want to smile, smile. If you are having a bad day and you want to frown, then frown. Get it out of your system. It's like, let me get this out of my system so that I can move on from it and I can go to the next thing that I am. I don't want to say identity, because then I'm getting stuck in myself again. I'm getting stuck thinking that I have to either escape or I have to confront this thing. It's like, whatever I'm going through, let me be honest with myself and actually say what I'm going through. It's so easy, yet everyone's looking for a way to escape from something. They're saying, I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to force myself to do these things. No, it doesn't have to do with forcing it. It's, if you are sick and tired of something, you are going to do something about it. If you are like, look, I can't do this anymore, you're going to do something about it. If you really want to do something, you're going to do it. If you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. But be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. I'm telling you, you will find so much out about yourself if you confront yourself and you're honest with yourself. You will learn so many things once you're honest and you say, look, I'm letting go of what I thought I did know. I'm looking into things for myself. What I thought was wrong. I didn't know everything. What somebody taught me or what somebody told me, that doesn't mean that they knew what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? And all that was a form of escapism. It was getting you to not confront anything. It was getting you to shun away from what's really going on. And I know that in facing and saying, I'm getting away from this at the same time, there's that constant contradiction there yet again. I'm going to face my circumstances and my problems, but yet I'm going to find a way for myself because I want to find a way for myself. I'm going to find the other route. I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to keep my mind busy from these things that, even though I'm confronting them, I don't really want to keep confronting them. So let me keep my mind busy. Let me do something else that I'm not used to. You understand what I'm saying? It's a really hard, no, not hard. It's a really it seems like it's confusing, but it's not meant to be confusing. It's not meant to confuse us. It's meant to actually make us think about our own lives and what we're doing. Because this is what I'm going to end the video with if y'all got here. I know, and I'm telling this to all of us, there is nobody coming to save you. There is nobody coming to get you up off of your butt. There is no one coming to give you some kind of inspiration. There is nobody. Look, I used to have this delusion that there was going to be this artist or this musician that would come and sign me, and I would be some big artist and I'd be doing my music and all these other things. I'm not going to get into it, but I was completely delusional. I was completely and absolutely delusional, and I wasted so much time in my life thinking that someone was going to come and get me out of my stuff. Somebody was going to come and do things for me that I wasn't doing. It's not going to happen, y'all. There's nobody coming. But see, nobody will tell you this because they're scared to tell you this. They're scared to actually get you to face your own self. They're scared to do this. And that's why so many other platforms, they're lying to you all the time. They're telling you these things. They're just covering up the problems all the time. They're masking what's really going on. They're telling you just keep escaping. Keep escaping, 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 escaping from your problems over and over, and you won't have them. That's when it gets worse, is when we don't face them. When we don't go head on with our fears and we don't actually talk about what it is that we're going through. And I did it so many times, it's kind of not impossible, but it's really hard for me to keep talking about it because I've been there and done it. I've already forced myself to go through these things. I've already wept many, many times by myself. I've already reflected on all the bad things in this world. I looked at the suffering of animals. I looked at the world wars with people getting killed in the concentration camps. And I watched unsolved murders. I watched almost every single case that you can think of. I mean, there's probably not anything that I haven't seen. There's probably nothing that I haven't looked into. Very few things that I have not seen yet, because that's what I take my time doing. I don't waste my time watching TV. I don't watch the news. I don't read newspapers. I don't get involved with all this stuff that keeps us the way that I'm saying. You know, I don't listen to any of it. I do my own research and I look into things for myself. And really, people may call this selfish, but it doesn't matter what people are going to say. It has to do with you doing this for yourself. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It doesn't mean that you're being some greedy, arrogant person. See, that's all the labels that people will say that this is, and it's not. If you don't care for you, who's going to care for you? If you don't do something for you, who's going to do it for you? If you don't write pages, who's going to write the pages for you if that's what you really want to do? Basically, it's like a thing where you just, something snaps and you make your mind up and you say, I'm not doing this anymore, or I'm doing this. I'm done doing this thing, or I've been doing this for so long. That's it. And you come to this thing, and that's what happened with me. I'm not saying I'm not going to have some bad day where I'm feeling down or whatever, but I know I am not going to let that paralyze me again, because I've been there so many times. I went through it so many times. And I know how you can be addicted to these things. You can be addicted to sadness, anger, gossip. I mean, there's so many things that we get addicted to, and I understand. But I can't stay at that place with people that are thinking like that and get stuck in those places. I can't be there with those people. They have to do or not do for themselves what they have to or not do for themselves. You know, it's always a two-way street here. This whole thing is always either or, neither either, left, right. Should I go this way or that way? It's always discerning what we're doing. And that's what I mean by the conundrum of escapism. The whole thing is a conundrum. We're running away from ourselves and we're facing ourselves. We're running away from ourselves and we're facing ourselves. And I don't think that ever stops. I really don't think it ever stops. And if we could see that we're doing that, I think that we could be a lot more or less, when the time is right, be what we have to be or do what we have to do, because we have more knowledge and discernment in our mind to know what's going on. But yet again, it comes down to the individual. No one can do this for me but me. Nobody can do this for you but you. That's all there is to it. Nobody is coming to save us. Nobody is coming to teach you or make you learn what you may have to learn for yourself and I have to learn for me. It's not going to happen. So don't let these other people keep lying to you and telling you bullshit, y'all. Because it's everywhere out here. It's all over the place. You know, people just blah, 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 blah. They just say things just to say them. Just to look like they're getting somewhere, they're doing something, and they're really not doing anything. They're not getting anywhere. They're just keeping us just... Should I say this? Oh, I don't know if I should say that. Should I be this? Oh, no, I can't be that for them people. They might think of me this way. It's like this paranoia comes in. And that's what I'm going for to free myself from all the time, is this paranoid way of thinking that I have to be this way or I have to do it this way. If I don't do it this way, then it's going to turn out this way. It's just nonsense. It's nonsense. And it's like I'm letting go of all that stuff. And yet again, I am free today. You are free today. There's nothing holding us back but ourselves. That's it. All right? Later.